Welcome and thank you for joining us today for a Land Services SA webinar on common errors. This is a joint presentation with the Office of the Surveyor General. This is a pre-recorded session with a live Q&A session at the end of this presentation. We ask you kindly hold all your questions until the allocated time, where one of our subject matter experts will be able to assist. Land Services SA is committed to providing an excellent customer experience. One way we continue to deliver value to the industry is through our industry education program, where we produce a range of helpful educational materials, hold regular webinars, and host industry events. Our industry education program addresses key topics or frequently asked questions to ensure you remain up to date with contemporary practices. We want to help set you up for success and believe helping with the industry education will help reduce the volume of requisitions, meaning a quicker and more seamless experience for your clients. Land Services SA's subject matter experts assist in delivering our industry education program, utilising their years of experience and respected place in the industry. This webinar was prepared by Ruhi Afnan, Land Services SA Senior Licensed Surveyor, and John Linsell, an Audit Surveyor with the Office of the Surveyor General. The aim of today is to highlight the common errors in survey plans and what tools are available to you to reduce these errors. We will delve briefly into the statistical data that Land Services SA has gathered on requisitions. These errors have been isolated into 4 categories: plan presentation, survey data, boundary definition, and finally digital data. We will finish by giving you an outline of the tools and strategies that you can use to improve the quality of the plans you lodge at Land Services SA. Looking at the statistical data on the requisition rate per plan throughout the 2024-2025 year, the quality is at its best in February, which reflects the level of activity within the industry. January is the quietest period of the year, with most of the population on holidays. Surveyors lodging plans that time of the year are more focused on producing a high quality of data. Another highlight is in June, where 400 plans were lodged with 250 requisitions as we approach the end of the financial year. During this period, Land Services SA's requisitions 67% of plans. The aim of today is to highlight some of the common errors and work towards driving down the volume of requisitions. Plan presentation errors. Often, extracts are taken from the DCDB, but errors contained within the DCDB flow into the lodged survey plans. It always pays to verify the digital line data extracted from the DCDB for its accuracy, making sure that the information shown on the plan is meaningful. Digital data errors. Gaps in digital line work often result in parcel misclosures. The gaps in digital line work are identified in the validation reports generated out of DPL after uploading the drawing file. The validation reports often pass with warnings, so it is vital to resolve these warnings before the lodgement of the survey plan. These warnings are helpful in resolving errors in your survey. For the drawing file to be compliant, road widths are required for each line segment. We cannot assume both sides of the road are parallel. This same analogy can be used with easements. As we don't show easement widths, it is imperative that a bearing is associated with the distance. Land Services SA find that some drafters are using the old LSSA template in which there was a bug in the running change tool. The running change tool in the current template records the insertion point in the background, which is used when validating the digital data by Land Services SA. Survey data errors. The start of the examination process is verifying the digital data. It is during this process we identify unacceptable misclosures in parcel data, PSM coordinates that are missing, and unacceptable joins between the PSMs. It is important that we verify the correctness of the digital data before the examination of the definition. Each new survey plan must be orientated to the current published or established MGA 2020 coordinates of 2 PSMs straddling the survey. The subject land must be located between the two selected marks, laterally, longitudinally, or diagonally, and the 2 PSMs selected for this orientation must be far enough apart to minimize the contribution of extrapolation of errors in bearing comparisons to other PSMs. Sufficient PSMs must be placed, connected, and protected to enable land parcels to be readily resurveyed, allowing for redundancy in resurvey and potential disturbance of some PSMs. Errors in showing occupation is becoming more pronounced due to the improved accuracy of the cadastre. It is important to remember that the survey plan is a public document, a snapshot in time. The occupation may not be valued to the redefinition of the parcel of land, but it may be valuable to the person using the plan in the future. A common error Land Services see in survey plans are connection lines along neighbouring titles to show the relationship to occupation, which requires a bearing, which is often missing from the survey plan. For example, a garage wall set back from the road. Remember, the cadastral survey guideline requires surveyors to show occupation information for one or more of the following reasons. A. To demonstration to the plan users of the boundary redefinition evidence. B. Demonstration to the plan users of physical status of subject land boundaries surveyed. And or C. To assist future surveyors in the relocation of PSMs connected. Boundary definition errors. It is the understanding that many surveyors create a cadastral model before going into the field to carry out their survey. In doing so, errors in fixings to reference marks and definition are often carried forward to the final plan before lodgement at the Land Services SA. Many of these errors make no material difference to what is marked on the ground and can be summed up as sloppy calculations that are extracted from the survey software to the drafter to interpret. These errors can be avoided by doing a comparison plan to previous surveys to verify the fixings and the logic behind the redefinition of the boundaries. The survey examiners recognise that the redefinition of boundaries is subjective, and occasionally there is more than one solution. It is imperative that the submitted survey report reflects the other options that you have considered to avoid a requisition. Often, there are calculable misclosures in the data in the old subdivision plan, which result in discrepancies that the surveyor needs to resolve. Surveying the entirety of the block and locating occupation is advisable to avoid potential steps in rear boundaries when it was never intended to be so by the original survey. Once again, the cadastral survey guidelines contains a wealth of information on searching and redefinition principles. Tools and strategies for improvement. The recently updated PPR contains information on preparing plans to meet the requirements of the Real Property Act. The Cadastral Survey Guidelines sets out the survey framework to meet the requirements of both the Survey Act and the Real Property Act. It is essential that you familiarise yourself with these two essential documents. The CAD and PPG validation reports generated out of DPL highlights errors both in drafting and survey. The warnings generated from these reports should be addressed before lodgement to prevent requisitions from Land Services SA. Shortly, we will be releasing the closure report that will be generated in addition to the CAD and PPG report. The closure report will replace PC plans. It will read your digital file, providing closures on parcels as well as performing MGA joins on coordinated survey marks. We will be conducting workshops in aiding you to interpreting the reports and resolving errors. Land Services SA has on its website checklists for every plan type. Utilising these checklists would greatly improve the quality of the survey plan that you lodge. Redefinition of boundaries can be subjective. Inclusion of survey reports detailing other solutions together with correspondence with other surveyors or the Office of the Surveyor General will greatly assist in reducing time of the examination. The more detail that is provided, the easier and faster the examination process will be. The key points from today's webinar. Firstly, it is important to stress that surveyors now have an extra responsibility in getting the digital data correct. No longer is it about a pretty picture. This means making sure there is no errors in logic when exporting from your survey package, to leave nothing open to interpretation for your drafter. The person drafting the plan should be using the latest Land Services SA template. Second point, if coordinating PMs for the first time, it is essential that the coordinates are provided to the Office of the Surveyor General prior to lodgement of the survey plan, together with PM GONE reports. The survey plan will be requisitioned and not approved until this process has been completed. The third point, make sure all occupation has been shown and has data to fix that occupation to the boundary or the connection line only. The fourth point, boundary redefinition errors can be avoided by providing a detailed survey reports and comparison plans. The CSG has a whole section devoted on how a survey report should be written. Detailing other options in the redefinition informs the examiners that you have considered other options, but you made your decision based on these factors. List the reasons. Fifth point, Land Services SA has on its website a variety of checklists for every survey plan type to enable you to verify data before lodgement. And finally, Land Services SA is in the process of developing a closure report. This will be released soon and will replace the PC plans. This will identify errors in your survey data and reduce time in you checking the survey plan. No longer will you have to manually enter data into PC plans. The closure report will read your digital file and perform closures on all parcels and construction parcels, with the addition of doing MGA joins between coordinated marks. Land Services SA's website has a range of educational and support materials to assist you in your day-to-day work. Our Industry Education Hub is a good place to start. This can be found by clicking Industry Education Hub on the homepage of the Land Services SA website. A copy of today's webinar will be published on the Industry Education Hub together with recording of previously held webinars. That concludes the recorded webinar section. Thank you for listening, and please remain online for the live Q&A session with our subject matter experts.